Can I draw things? I know I can. Ew. I'm not tall enough for this. Beautiful. They're different colors. Oh my god, there's different colors. This is so dumb. I can dually it. Look at that pig. Amazing. I did it. I finally played the iconic VR game that everyone always tells me to play. I did it. So you don't have to keep asking me if I'm gonna do it. I did it. It's over. I don't have to do it ever again. I played Half-Life Alyx. What a time to be alive. Jeez. The VR game to end all VR games. Oh. Hello. Oh. This was the VR game that when it came out, it blew everyone's mind and changed the whole course of what people expected from VR games. From my perspective, playing it way later, it feels like all the other VR games we have now, just smoother. Everything feels so good. Wow. Okay. I really liked Half-Life Alyx. It was cool to be in the world of Half-Life. Look at the freaking piss on there. That looks great. I have never played a Half-Life game, just a heads up. I really should. Don't make me go play those. I'll kill you. I have so many games I have to play at this point. It's getting ridiculous. Half-Life has an amazing world that's fun to explore in VR. You probably could have told me that, but here I am telling you that. Masterpiece. Let's get into some of the mechanics that I really liked from Half-Life Alyx and some things that made me go, ooh, wow, this is amazing. Let's get into it. Mechanics that I thought were specific to VR and really cool. The gravity hands. You know, in most games, we just have that, like, Into the Radius, I think, had that gravity grab where you pick things up off the ground and they fly to your hand. This game had a really cool story mode way of explaining that whole mechanic, and I found it cheeky and entertaining and cool, and I just really liked it. Gimme. Yeah. Oh. The gravity gloves are amazing. The design's cool when you have them on your hands, and it feels less unnatural doing that in this game because they made a whole mechanic around it and a device around the gravity grab. So when I'm reaching around and I'm like grabbing all these faraway things and it zips to my hand, it feels so good with that, like you like click it, then you flick your hand up and then it flies to your hand. You have to grab it too, the catch after. Some of those catches I pulled mid-game, mid-fight were like some of the most legendary moments for me. Like, it felt so good when I finally caught that med kit or something last minute and jabbed it in my hand. I like the mechanic a lot. I'm sure you do too. Which brings me to the next mechanic I really like. The hacker tool. What a simple thing that was executed so well. Oh my god, there's so many lasers. Okay. Just defuse this one. Okay, you got this. Steady hands, standy hands. Oh, what the? When you're like waving your arm around and like scanning the walls for wires and then flipping things around, and then the mini games with the ball, the 3-dimensional ball, and you have to pull all the locks and keys around. What a cool idea. It's so simple. It's almost stupid that I haven't seen it before, you know? Like, it's so clever. I found it very engaging. It's easy to understand, and dynamic. You can't do that in a regular FPS game. You can only do it in a VR game, and that's why I'm so happy that that hacker tool exists and they got such footwork out of it. It's amazing. I guess that brings me to the next thing that I'm really excited about was the collectibles. So there's these like little rocks you collect throughout the whole game that upgrade your weapons, and I found finding those rocks really entertaining. It made the world a lot more fun to explore because it's already dynamic and interesting and like huge. But when you're looking and combing through it very carefully, looking for little hidden secrets, it makes it just that much more dynamic and cool. Oh. Okay, come here. Come here. Oh, no. Come. Yeah. Okay. The guns, there's only like a handful of them, but I feel like with their upgrades and their functionality in the game, I feel like you didn't need much more of that. When I've been playing modern virtual reality games, I find they have like a million guns, and I don't know what each one does. Well, you've seen a lot of videos about me not knowing how guns work. I don't know the first thing about guns. I thought I did. No. How do you put bullets in this gun? I don't know what all these guns do and what they're for, like what the difference in range is and their accuracy and their recoil and all that. I don't know. I don't care. But in Half-Life Alyx, they kept it really simple. You have like a pistol that's a point and shoot kind of situation where you can do distance and close range with 2 optional modes. Then you have an AR, which is like mid-range. You just want to blast bullets into something that's big, and I like that. And then there's the shotgun, which is obviously close range. You just want to blast people point blank, take as much health away from them as possible. It's cool. I like each gun individually, and they did some really neat things to each gun where it didn't just feel like I was pulling out a magazine and popping it back in and then cocking back the rail. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, you just don't do that thing. They each had their own function. Like the hand cannon, you had to you have the reload with the magazine below, but then it also has this additional 10 stock with the upgrade, so it can fill up the 10 stock and then you can insert another mag to do another 10 more. I didn't realize how that worked at first, but later on it became a very engaging mechanic, was just reloading the pistol and making sure that I had enough bullets. Die, 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 die. Okay, die. A really cool gun. Really, really cool. The AR has like multiple magazines it can hold at once, so like filling it up with like 4 mags, you just can unload that thing for like forever with just bullets flying out everywhere. It's an interesting reload I haven't seen in the game before, which is just popping magazines in this little loader. Very cool. The shotgun, typical shotgun, you just jam freaking shells into it. It felt good because you had that snapback where you know? Sorry for using my mic. Oh my god! This cable is gonna freaking... This cable's problems, man. I need a new one. Yeah, the guns are great. Well done, Valve. You did a good job. I want to sneak one more thing in. The upgrades, it was interesting to choose between attachments and what I was gonna do first. It was hard deciding whether I wanted like a laser sight or a scope. And it just became a dynamic struggle because like either I can hip fire way better or I can aim and actually make my shots and save ammo. That's an interesting decision to make. It's very situational because sometimes you're frantically just shooting everywhere and you're not able to scope in, but then other times you have this little piece where you can just scope in and shoot somebody in the head and point blank and save your ammo. It was fun to make those decisions and be stressed out in that way, so that was awesome. So the story, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I think one of the things I want to like measure here is my ADD-ness when I play games.
Alyx, how's it looking up there?
It's good, Dad.
When I'm talking to somebody in a game, I get so bored, and I just want to do different things and zip around. And cutscenes, I usually space out or pull up my phone and just not pay attention, which is terrible. But this game had this really cool way of keeping me engaged where it would have me interacting with things midway through cutscenes. A good example is this guy's explaining where we are and where we're going to be going, and he asked me midway through the cutscene to pick up something random to represent where we are right now. And that's so dumb and simple, and he didn't use it or interact with it in any way, but just giving me an option to kind of respond back was just so satisfying.
Grab something that represents us.
Oh. Something that represents us. Okay, how about this thing?
Okay, that's you.
He caught my attention again. I cared a little bit more and a little bit longer about what he had to say before I spaced out and used my phone, right? So, hats off to Valve. My hair's crazy right now, that's why I'm wearing a hat.
Alyx, up here! You're gonna need a gun! Don't worry, it's unloaded. Here you go.
Oh, I got it. Okay, so the enemies. The first one you meet is the Headcrab, and I think the Headcrab is really engaging because they can kind of be anywhere. That's why I think they're used so much throughout this game. The Headcrab can be low on the ground, crawling around and jumping at you, or it can be up on the ceiling, crawling from the ceiling and jumping down on you. As well as that, it can jump on things' heads and zombify them, and then they're just a human enemy. And again, that brings a big, wide variety of where you're expecting to aim your gun, and it's fun to be able to look all around and use this VR headset in a way that like really makes me look all around the environment, which I normally wouldn't do in a game. So I really like that enemy, and I'm glad they used it as much as they did. They have these armor variants too, which are kind of interesting, where you have to get underneath of them and rely on them flipping over and doing dumb shit. I love Headcrabs. They're cool. Fuck you. That is so gross. The next enemy that's very frequent is the like combine fights. They have like 3 or more variations of enemies. There's a heavy, which I'm sure you know what he does. He runs up, he has a bunch of armor, and he's scary. You have to blast him really fast or take a lot of cover and get away from him. There is a guy that kind of like snipes and has big weaponry, but like isn't very body heavy, so you can take him out, but he also does huge damage if you don't. And then there's the regular bros. Those guys just do whatever. I don't know. They have this really fun like death noise that I really liked. I like the sound they make when they die, so that's cool. Nothing really shocking here. It's just your typical shooter. I don't know if Half-Life Alyx established this, but you know, it feels usual. It's fun to get in gunfights in VR, so I'll take it. It's okay. Special category, Jeff. My boy Jeff was interesting.
What the hell was that?
Oh, it's Jeff.
Jeff?
Where VR works its best is when it puts you up against things that feel big or really show you the scale of how tiny you are compared to something else. And my boy Jeff makes me feel really tiny, and I feel like I'm with him when he's there on screen. He is a terrifying dude that can't be killed. Well, you can only distract him, and this dude walks around and he's blind. So you have to grab bottles and throw them and smash them in places where you want him to go. And if you don't do that, he comes to you. And some of these moments where I'm just up close with Jeff, I want to give him a hug maybe. He's terrifying. He's massive, and I felt so small but beside that guy. And the way they used this gameplay was so dynamic and interesting, because when he breaks through a wall, you're just like, and you're panicking. And that's what VR is all about, is that panic feeling you get when you play games, because something feels real. And I felt real fear that I was gonna die to my boy Jeff. And if you haven't met Jeff and you haven't played Half-Life Alyx, this is one of the parts I think you should be excited about. He's awesome. He's a cool enemy, and I like him a lot. I'm gonna make this a separate category. This is a spoiler zone. The ending of the game, I don't know anything about Half-Life, but I knew that when these characters showed up, it was a big freaking deal. Seeing, I think it's G-Man. When you see G-Man on screen, it's haunting and overwhelming, and the surreal presence he has and the effect he has on the world. The building's all flipped upside down and you're navigating it. That was really neat. And when he does weird shit to your head, I felt uncomfortable and horrified a little bit. I know that Half-Life fans, when they saw this, I've seen clips of it, they lost their mind. It was so hype, and I wish I felt that way. I wish I played Half-Life 1 and 2, but I haven't. So I just wanted to acknowledge how amazing that was, probably for the fans. That was cool. That was really cool. Anyways, all in all, yeah, I've played a lot of VR games now. I'm starting to experiment with some that I find really, really interesting, and I'm starting to find my groove for what holds my interest with VR and what I think is a smart purchase. There's some amazing games out there, and I think they all exist in thanks to this game, Half-Life Alyx. I think when it came out, it changed the precedent for how guns should work, what the VR mechanics should be. The gravity grip is just such a smart invention, and I feel like so many games have used it since that showed up. It is amazing, and I think that most games should be inspired by how interactive they made their world and how big they made their world feel. It's a neat game, and if you haven't played it, just like everyone said to me, you should go play that game. You have half your life till you play Half-Life. Then you really live your life. I love VR, and I'm excited about some of these other games that I get to try out with VR soon. One of the ones I want to pick up eventually is Ghosts of Tabor, but, you know, I'll get it when I get it. Right now I'm fooling around with Contractors, so expect a video about Contractors soon. Should I start doing like a review for these things? Like a review score? I give Half-Life Alyx an out of 10 for being great. Ugh, scores feel gross. Ugh, why did I do that? F you, Danny. Bye.